The 8th of March 2014, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's 11:23 p.m. local time at Penang International Airport. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, call sign MH370, is preparing for a weekly 5-hour and 55-minute flight from Malaysia to China's capital city of Beijing. Flight 370 consists of a 12-member flight crew made up of 10 flight attendants and 2 pilots. All of them were Malaysian nationals. The pilot in command was 53-year-old Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a resident of Penang. He joined Malaysian Airlines in 1981 as a cadet pilot and received his commercial pilot's license in 1983, the same year he was promoted to second officer. In 1991, he was promoted to captain of the Boeing 737-400, captain on the Airbus 330-300 in 1996, and captain on the Boeing 777-200 in 1998. Zahari had a total of 18,365 hours of flying experience and was a type rating examiner since 2007. The co-pilot was 27-year-old Farik Abdul Hamid, who joined Malaysia Airlines in 2007 as a cadet pilot. In 2010, after being a second officer on the Boeing 737-400 for the past 2 years, he was then promoted to first officer on the Boeing 747-400. He was later transitioned to first officer on the Airbus 330-300 and was then promoted to first officer in training on the Boeing 777-200 in 2013. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was supposed to be his last flight as a trainee first officer, and was set to become a senior first officer. Operating Flight 370 was an 11-year and 10-month-old Boeing 777-200ER, variant 2H6. It was registered as 9M MRO, with Boeing manufacturer serial number of 28420. It first flew on the 14th of May 2002 and was delivered to Malaysia Airlines on the 31st of May 2002. This 777 was powered by 2 Rolls-Royce Trent 892s, a high bypass ratio turbofan engine that powered early Boeing 777 variants. The aircraft had accumulated 53,471.6 hours and 7,526 cycles, takeoffs and landings, in service. It had not previously been involved in any significant incidents. However, a minor incident that occurred while taxiing at Shanghai Pudong International Airport in August 2012 resulted in a broken wingtip. Its last maintenance, an A-check, was carried out on the 23rd of February 2014 and complied with all applicable airworthiness directives for the airframe and engines. On board were 227 passengers, 153 of which were Chinese nationals. At 12:18 a.m. local time, Malaysia Flight 370 began pushback from gate C1 and was cleared to the holding point 110 at runway 32 right via taxiway Alpha 10.
Malaysia 370. Good morning. Alpha 10 to right. Alpha 10, Malaysia 370. 370, run up to Alpha 10. Run up to Malaysia 370.
Airspeed alive. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate of climb.
At 12:42 a.m. local time, Malaysia Flight 370 took off from runway 32 right and was cleared to waypoint Agari off Malaysia's coast and climbed to flight level 180.
Malaysian 370, selamat pagi. Identified climb flight level 180. Can selesai di turn right, turning to Agari.
Okay. Okay, level 180, direct Ikari, Malaysian 370.
Moments after departure, while climbing through 3,000 feet, Malaysia Flight 370 was transferred from Sepang Air Traffic Control to Lumpur Radar.
370, contact Lumpur Radar 1326 tonight.
Alright, 1326 Malaysian 370.
At 12:46, Lumpur Radar clears MH370 to flight level 350.
Malaysian 370, climb flight level 350.
Climb level 350, Malaysian 370.
At 1:19 a.m. local time, as Malaysia Flight 370 leaves Malaysian airspace, which was handed over to Ho Chi Minh Control Centre.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
This was the last conversation between the captain of Malaysian Flight 370 and Air Traffic Control. Flight 370 was being observed by Malaysia Air Traffic Control 2 minutes later while crossing the waypoint Agari off the coast of Thailand, when suddenly Malaysian Flight 370 disappeared from the radar. In a state of shock, Lumpur Air Traffic Control uses the secondary radar to locate Flight 370. The secondary radar uses one of the aircraft's two transponders to pinpoint its location, but there is still no sign of Malaysia Flight 370. However, the flight is still being tracked by military radar, where it shows the aircraft making a sharp right turn, then turning southwest back towards the coast of Malaysia. At 1:30 a.m. local time, Vietnamese Air Traffic Control requests another aircraft to contact Malaysian Flight 370 via the IAD, International Air Distress Signal. But upon establishing communication with MH370, they can only hear mumbling and static. On military radar, Flight 370 is seen flying on a heading of 231 degrees at an altitude of 35,700 feet from 1:30 a.m. to 1:35 a.m. until it descends to an altitude of 33,000 feet. Between 1:35 and 1:50 a.m., the air traffic control of Ismail Petra Airport detected an unidentified aircraft 4 times, which could have been Flight 370. At 1:52 a.m, Flight 370's transponder sends a signal to a small airport south of Penang. From there, air traffic control records MH370 turning right and flying across the Strait of Malacca until it reaches a waypoint named Vampi at 2:03 a.m. MH370 is detected by military radar for the final time at 22 minutes past 2 Malaysia Standard Time, flying at an altitude of 29,500 feet and 247 miles northwest of Penang. One hour after Malaysia Flight 370's scheduled arrival into Beijing, Malaysia Airlines issued a public statement that Lumpur Air Traffic Control lost communication with Flight 370 at around 1:21 a.m, and the government had started a search and rescue operation in the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. However, 10 days after the disappearance of Flight 370, British company Inmarsat made a shocking discovery. An Inmarsat satellite over the Indian Ocean had picked up signals sent from the aircraft's computer that revealed the plane had continued to fly for 6 hours after the last military radar detection over the Strait of Malacca. At 2:25 MYT, the aircraft's SDU sent a log-on request message, the first message since the ACARS transmission at 7 minutes past 1, which was relayed by the satellite ground station, both operated by satellite telecommunications company Inmarsat. After the SDU approved the log-on request from the satellite, it responded to the hourly status requests from the Inmarsat F1 satellite and a ground station in Perth, Australia, that began sending transmissions via the satellite MH370 known as handshakes. The final handshake which the aircraft initiated was made at 19 minutes past 8, 1 hour and 40 minutes after Beijing's scheduled arrival. 37 seconds after the final handshake, a log-on acknowledge message transmitted by the aircraft, which was the last recorded transmission from Flight 370, as it was believed that the plane ran out of fuel and crashed at around 8:20 am. Inmarsat then began to analyse the time differences between the handshake transmission and the acknowledgement from the aircraft's SDU that allowed them to find the distance of MH370 from the satellite at each signal. The last handshake signal put the aircraft's location in an arc that ran north near Kazakhstan and an arc that ran south deep into the Indian Ocean near Australia's coast. However, considering the changes in the satellite itself's position, the northern arc was later ruled out. Hence began the most expensive multinational search and rescue operation in aviation history, and concentrated on the southern Indian Ocean west of the Australian coastline. At first, the search was more focused on finding the flight data recorders due to the 30-day battery life of the Universal Locator Beacons, or ULBs, attached to them, but the search was nearly impossible, as the maximum range of the ULB is around 2,000 to 3,000 metres. 19 vessels and 345 sorties of military aircraft searched around 4.6 million square kilometres, with no luck of finding any evidence or debris. The search's final phase was the bathymetric and sonar research of the seafloor to detect any debris lying at the bottom of the ocean. The investigation took place about 1,800 kilometres southwest of Perth, Australia. The official search was suspended on the 17th of January 2017 after it yielded no results whatsoever. According to an ATSB report, the estimated cost of the underwater search cost nearly $155 million. The only confirmed debris of MH370 that was recovered was the right wing flaperon off the coast of St Andre de Reunion, pieces of the right wing and part of the horizontal stabiliser. In January 2018, a private company named Ocean Infinity started searching for MH370 again in a narrowed down range of 25,000 square kilometres southwest of Perth. The search was called off in June 2018 after their contract with the Malaysian government ended. United States officials believe that the most likely explanation to be someone in the cockpit of Flight 370 reprogramming the aircraft's autopilot to travel south across the Indian Ocean. Police searched the pilots' homes and seized financial records for all 12 crew members, including bank statements, credit card bills, and mortgage documents. Captain Zahari was labelled as the prime suspect of crew involvement. The FBI found a 777 flight simulator at Captain Zahari's residence used to fly an almost identical route used by Malaysian Flight 370 after it disappeared from civilian radar. On the 8th of March 2020, 6 years after the disappearance, 2 memorial events of this anniversary were held. Families of those who disappeared of MH370 called for a new search in efforts that the new Malaysian Transport Minister would help them solve the disappearance of their loved ones. Malaysian Airlines Insurance Company agreed to pay $40 million to the 227 people lost on board MH370, which as of yet, in 2021, is aviation's greatest mystery.